What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nate Infinite. I'm your host, Nate, and you've probably seen the title for this video. I kind of wanted to talk about a certain YouTuber that is pretty popular on this platform, and that's the Critical Drinker. Now, the Critical Drinker is a guy on this platform, for those who don't know, who mostly reviews movies and TV shows, mostly big blockbuster movies and TV shows, and he has a very huge following, mostly because every once in a while he does make some good points. I did watch a couple Critical Drinkers videos in the past. I was never subscribed to him, but I watched a couple of his videos in the past, and I thought he was pretty funny. But the thing about Critical Drinkers, he's one of those YouTubers that once you watch one of his videos, you've kind of seen them all, to be honest, because he kind of just reiterates the same points in all of his videos. Recently, Critical Drinker put out a review for the Thunderbolts movie, the latest Marvel movie that just came out. And it's honestly baffling, his critiques with the movie. Now, if he didn't like the movie, whatever, it's his opinion, but his critiques of the movie just kind of make no sense. And it's just the same stuff that he says in all his movies, that it's the same Marvel movie that we've been getting. The movie talks down to the male characters, is feminist, it's very pro-feminist with the main characters. Like, it almost seems like, and I wouldn't be surprised if in this case he didn't even watch the movie, because like I said, all his movie reviews are kind of the same, and he can really just dial up the same problems he's had in every single Marvel movie. And I feel like the problem is guys like Critical Drinker, they're so used to talking shit about Marvel and Disney and Star Wars that's really all they know how to do, to the point where even their own comment section is kind of turned on them. Like, if you read the comments in his video, a lot of people in his comment section really disagree with him about his review on Thunderbolts. Like, a lot of people like this movie, and I truly don't understand what his even problem with the movie. I know it's not really saying much, because I've lost a lot of interest in a lot of Marvel properties, but I also think people over exaggerate how bad Marvel has been. Like, one of the things that Critical Drinker brings up is it's just another Marvel slop movie in the sea of bad Marvel content that we've been getting.
Out of all the Marvel movies to come out in recent years, Thunderbolts is definitely one of them. In fact, it's probably the one I've been looking forward to the least. Not because I hate it or anything, but because I feel absolutely nothing towards it. It's the movie equivalent of an annual dental checkup. You know it's coming, but it's not like you're pumped up to get started on it or anything.
But I just feel like people really have been over-exaggerating the amount of bad super movies we've been getting from Marvel. Like, yeah, sure, the TV shows, like, I haven't watched every single Marvel TV show that's come out, but as far as the movies goes, after Endgame, which is how people judge all these movies, is it as good as Endgame? Like, phase 4, 5, 6, whatever phase we're on, we've been getting mostly good movies. Like, since Endgame, we've gotten, like, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Black Panther 2, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, all movies that I think have been pretty good. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, like, these have all been good movies. Like, for the most part, we've been getting pretty decent movies. Like, there's of course been some stinkers, like Ant-Man 3 wasn't very good. I personally like the Marvels. It wasn't amazing, but I like that movie. Thor, Love and Thunder, I didn't love that at all. But for the most part, we've still been getting pretty good movies, and it's no different than the other phases that had good and bad movies. But because it's really the end thing to make fun of everything Marvel, a Critical Drinker does not know how to review a Marvel movie without just shitting on it and saying the same rhetorics that he's been saying in all his reviews. So at the beginning of Critical Drinker's review, he spends time recounting the plot, and he makes a really weird comment on how Florence Pugh's character Yelena is like a take on modern feminism.
The movie begins with discount Black Widow, who's feeling sad and worthless because there's not much going on in her life outside of her work. And if that's not a neat encapsulation of modern feminism, frankly, I don't know what is.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And he has a lot of cheap shots at Florence Pugh throughout this video, saying stuff like her character Yelena is not very interesting. He calls her Discount Black Widow the entire video.
Discount Black Widow, who's discount Black Widow because discount Black Widow.
and also how Florence Pugh is just dialing it in. Really weird because it's also a backhand compliment too, because he says like she's too good for these movies.
The life of me, I'll never understand why Marvel keep trying to make Yelena a thing. I mean, what exactly are we supposed to find appealing about this character? She's basically a shorter, dumpier, less appealing version of Black Widow with a shitty Russian accent and played by a disinterested Florence Pugh who practically faxes in her performance. She is way better than movies like this, and she knows it.
So he acknowledges that she's a good actress, but also he says that she's dialing in her performance and she's not as good looking as Scarlett Johansson, which is just a weird criteria to have for a character that, oh, she's not as hot as another actress that you like. Like, what does that have to do with her role in the movie? But I also find it strange because, in my opinion, Helena is one of the best new characters we've gotten in the MCU, and she's the best part of this movie. And him saying that she's disinterested in the movie, I think, is also very strange because for those who haven't seen Thunderbolts, the whole movie is kind of about depression, and well, it's not kind of about it. The movie's about depression and the characters trying to overcome that and find happiness with each other. And Helena's whole thing in the beginning of this movie, she's very dissatisfied with life and her job, very relatable. And that's kind of why she's disinterested. Like, that's her character, not the actress Florence Pugh. I don't really know how he gets the fact that she's disinterested in the role or she's dialing in her performance. Like, when I watch interviews with Florence Pugh, she seems to really like playing the character. So I don't really know how he gets the idea that she's dialing in her performance. Like, if you didn't think she did a good job, that's one thing to critique her performance. But to say she's just dialing it in, I don't really understand how he gets that. Because she goes through a pretty emotional arc in this story. And also say she's a discount Black Widow, I think is interesting. He says that about most of the characters in this, that these are a bunch of characters that no one cares about. Which I find interesting because, one, Critical Jingle, you review all these movies. You review all the Marvel movies, so you know who these characters are. Also, most of these characters, I think, are pretty popular at this point. Like, obviously, yeah, if you go by the comics, none of these characters are popular, like C-listers. But you could say that about most of the Marvel characters, including the Avengers. You know, that's kind of the whole thing with Marvel is they took these B-list characters and made them super popular, like Iron Man, Cap, and Thor. But the thing is, most of these characters are known. Like Red Guardian and Helena were both in the same movie. Bucky, I shouldn't even have to explain Bucky. Everyone knows Bucky. John Walker, it was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, these, the only one I would give you is like Ghost from Ant-Man 2. That's probably not a character that most people remember, but I think she was pretty well done in this movie. I thought all the characters were pretty well done in this movie. And like at one point in the review, Critical Drinker even gets mad, and he does the typical like John Walker is belittled in this movie because he's a man. And he gets taken down a notch by the female characters.
John Walker exists for no other reason than to be wrong about everything and constantly mocked and belittled by the strong female characters around him.
Which I think is a weird way to read John Walker's character in this movie because, one, if you watch the movie, the thing with John Walker is he's kind of a dick. He's an asshole. He's an asshole in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he's still an asshole in this. That's his character. So the characters making fun of him, it's because they don't like him. Just because you like John Walker as a character doesn't mean that in universe the characters do. Like, that's why they're belittling him, belittling them. But also in the context of the movie, John Walker is still a good character. Like, yeah, he gets made fun of, but he's still a good character in the movie. Like, like again, all the characters are going through depression in this. Like, they're on their low. They're the lowest of the low that they have ever been. And so, like, he's still a good character in this movie. Like, there's action scenes in this movie where, like, you see that he's still a capable fighter. So I didn't really get how I don't really get how he thought this movie was taking John Walker's character down a notch at all. But I feel like he just says that because that's what he has to say in all his reviews. And he also says that the action scenes are been there, done that, and seen that before. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I thought these action scenes were pretty competent in this movie. Again, I don't know what movie he really watched. And this movie's not even a super action heavy movie when you think about it. There's like 2 really big action scenes in this movie, and there's like 1 chase scene. And the final battle of this movie is not even really action packed. So I don't really get the been there, done there action scenes in this. I thought the action scenes in this movie were really well done, and they were definitely better than Captain America, uh, Brave New World, which I thought didn't have any memorable action scenes in it. And of course, he complains about the Marvel humor, and I feel like at this point, if you're going into a Marvel movie not expecting action and humor, I don't know why you even are still watching these movies. Like, as far as quippings goes, this wasn't this wasn't a tonal whiplash that he insinuates in his review. I don't really know how he got that, to be honest. Like, this movie's pretty serious. Like, yeah, the characters are quippy, but it's not like Guardians of the Galaxy quips. You know, like if there's, I've always had a problem with Marvel humor as well, but mostly my problem with Marvel humor in movies, in the Marvel movies, is that characters are jokey that I feel like shouldn't be jokey. Like I've never a fan of when characters like uh, Captain America or Thor are super jokey because I feel like they shouldn't be. Like, but it's fine if it's characters like Iron Man or Spider Man. Like when everyone's jokey, I don't think it works. But in the context of this movie, I think the quips work and the banter works between the characters because it's in characters for the characters to be quippy. Characters like Red Guardian are very quippy in this. Now the main villain, I don't think she's very interesting. Uh, but other than that, like it's not a tonal whiplash like he says. Like this isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a pretty serious movie for the most part. And I'm just gonna go ahead and play a clip at the end of Critical Drinker's review because he just goes on a really long rant that makes absolutely no sense.
Watching this movie, I was struck by this weird feeling of embarrassment, not just for the people making slop like this, but for me as the audience. Watching a bunch of aging actors dressed up in their goofy outfits, reciting the hackneyed dialogue and the lame jokes, the physics-defying action scenes and the overdramatic villains. It's like watching a teenager who's still playing with action figures, or a woman in her 30s still listening to Taylor Swift songs, or a middle-aged man still going to nightclubs. All of them stunted, unable or unwilling to accept that the world around them is changing and it's time to move on now.
So yeah, I played that clip right there just so you could hear Critical Drinker's little rant as it is his video. He really just says there's a lot of buzzwords that make absolutely no sense. Like it really feels like he didn't really have much to say about this movie, so he had to pad out the runtime. Like I don't really understand how this movie is as bad as other Marvel movies we got in the past. Like I said, I think this movie's pretty good, and most people have been enjoying this movie, including the people in your comment section, Critical Drinker. But like most people on this platform, it's just a fun thing to shit on everything Marvel puts out. So Critical Drinker's just keeping that rhetoric up. I don't think Thunderbolts movie is like amazing or as hype as people are saying, but I think it's pretty decent. I would watch it again personally. And I think this is what we kind of needed from Marvel, to be honest. A more low budget Marvel, not low budget, but a low stakes Marvel movie with actual character development. Like the characters in this get more to do than I feel like the last movie with Captain America and Brave New World, where I feel like that wasn't really Sam's movie, to be perfectly honest. But I enjoyed all the characters in this. Could there have been more character development? Yeah, like characters like Ghost, uh, doesn't get much. That is true. But I still think she was fun. Like I liked her back and forth with John Walker in this. And I think this movie had a lot more to say than something like Captain America: Brave New World, which is the main movie I'm kind of comparing this to because that's the most recent Marvel movie. But yeah, this movie had really good enjoyable characters, decent, really good, decent action. I thought this movie was funny. Um, And yeah, I really don't understand why the Critical Drinker said this was just as bad as it was. And yeah, I really don't understand Critical Drinker's review at all. It really just seems like he didn't watch the movie, which I wouldn't be surprised if someone just told him what the script of these movies are, and he just puts out his reviews based on that. Because I really don't understand at this point if you're just gonna hate on everything that Marvel and Disney puts out. Why are you even still reviewing these movies? Um, but yeah, that's all I have to say. I mostly just made this video as an excuse to talk about Thunderbolts a little bit, and I didn't want to make an actual edited video on my main channel. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that in Critical Genius video. If you want to hear more random thoughts from me, about movies or random YouTubers, consider giving me a subscribe and a like down below. And I would like to hear your thoughts on Critical Drinker's take, or even the Thunderbolts movie itself. Did you like that movie? Let me down in the comments down below. This is my second channel. My main channel is Infinite Repeat. Link will be in the description and somewhere on the screen. Yeah, this channel is mostly just going to be my random thoughts, whatever something pops in my head, less edited. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Once again, this is Nate Infinite. I'm Nate. Stay up.